If you lived through Washington State during the COVID years and you are still a little bit traumatized, if you're still living in Washington, you're definitely going to want to hear about this bill that has a hearing in Olympia next week. Hey, everybody, I'm Julie Barrett, founder of Conservative Ladies of America and Conservative Ladies of Washington, and I'm back with another bill of the day. This is a very, very bad, no good bill. This is House Bill 1531. This is an act relating to preserving the ability of public officials to address communicable diseases using scientifically proven measures to control the spread of such diseases, adding a new section to Chapter 70.54 of the Revised Code of Washington, and declaring it an emergency. So, when a bill is declared an emergency, two things kind of happen. Number one, it takes effect immediately upon passing and being signed into law by the governor. Number two, it makes it so that citizens cannot run a referendum against the bill to try to repeal it. So, anytime I see an emergency clause, I consider that cause for concern. So, let's dig into this bill and see what some of the key points are. It's a short bill, it's only 2 pages, but it's got a lot of bad stuff packed into those only 2 pages. All right, so first of all, it adds a new section to the RCW 70.54 stating that public health responses must be guided by the best available science on disease control measures, including vaccinations. And so when you hear science, trust the science, that doesn't really give us a lot of comfort. In fact, you might be like me when you hear trust the science, the alarm bells start going off. The second thing it does is that it mandates that state and local health officials implement and promote evidence-based measures to control communicable diseases within available resources. And finally, it prohibits any new statutes, ordinances, rules, or policies that would prevent the implementation and promotion of these measures, effectively voiding any existing ones that do so at the time of the bill's enactment. And it has that emergency clause that I told you about. So, what is this all about? Well, if you've been in Washington for the last 4 years, you know exactly what this is about. This is setting up the state for the next thing. And don't kid yourself, that's exactly what they're doing. They're giving the state the power to mandate vaccines, any kind of health measures they want. So whether that's masks or who knows what else. They did so many crazy things during COVID that really anything you can imagine up is probably on the table for this. One of the things that I think is particularly concerning about this, I mean, we know that Washington State will not have a problem mandating vaccines for workers, for state workers. They could even, it sounds like through this, mandate vaccines for non-government employees, non-state employees, and for private businesses, and to be able to go into buildings or things like that. But as a parent, the biggest thing that goes off for me with this is forced vaccines for children to be able to go to the government schools. Now, I don't really think you should send your kids to government schools in Washington as it is. If this passes, I hope that this will cause a lot of parents to pull their children out of government schools, because forcing the kids to be vaccinated in order to go to school. I also don't think that having these vaccine clinics at the schools is out of the question. We know they did that during COVID. So is that something that they would do, and do it without parental consent by declaring it an emergency? It's a public emergency. And so they have to do it. They have to vaccinate all these kids. So it's very frightening. This is a very frightening bill. There is no place in this bill for informed consent. It's just, we are the government and you will do what we say. All right. What can you do? Take action. Make your voice heard. First of all, if you are considering testifying on any bill, I would say this is one of the best bills that you could testify on. This bill is going to need people beyond the usual cast of characters that testify in Olympia. And I say characters in a loving way, but there are very few people on the side of common sense that are showing up to testify in Olympia. And so the Democrats, the committee, see the same people over and over. So it's great to have new faces. So if testifying is something that you have time and you're willing to do, I would really recommend that you do that. You can go to Olympia, do it in person, or you can do it virtually over Zoom. So they make it actually pretty easy. So from wherever you are in the state, you can testify. The hearing is scheduled for January 31st at 8 a.m. So, what I'm asking you to do today is sign in con, register your position for the legislative record, saying that you oppose this bill by signing in con. It'll take you 30 seconds to do it. And giving those numbers to the legislature is just a way to show that citizens are paying attention and we don't want this. Will they pass it anyway? You all know the answer to that. It's Washington. Of course, they will pass it anyway. But this is something where if you have an opportunity to speak up, please don't be silent. Please speak up, even if it isn't going to change the outcome. So I would encourage you to take that 30 seconds to sign in con, share this information far and wide with everyone you know. There should be thousands and thousands of Washingtonians signing in against this bill and a line of people out the door signed up to testify against it as well. So below the video, I will have a link to the bill, a link to some more information, and of course, I will have the link so that you can take action. So go sign in con or go register to testify and be sure to share this information far and wide. Thanks for watching. Thanks for engaging, and I look forward to seeing you again next time.